Look around you right now. Look at the people in your neighborhood, the people you work with, the people sitting next to you on the bus or standing in line at the grocery store. 9 out of 10 of them will retire broke. Not struggling, not tight on money, broke. And the craziest part? It's not because they don't make enough money. It's not because the economy is rigged against them, or they got unlucky, or they chose the wrong career. It's because of one single spending habit that has infected the way they think about money since the day they got their first paycheck. And nobody is talking about it. Not really. Financial gurus will sell you courses on real estate flipping and passive income streams. Investment channels will argue endlessly about which stock is going to moon next quarter. Everybody's got a strategy, a system, a secret formula they'll share with you for 3 easy payments of $49.99. But almost none of them address the one foundational problem that makes all of those strategies completely useless for 90% of the population. I'm going to expose that habit today. I'm going to show you exactly how it works, exactly why it keeps you poor, and exactly what to do about it starting this week. You will never look at your money the same way again. You're going to see it everywhere, in your own life, in your friends' lives, in the decisions you make every single day without even thinking about them. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's when everything changes. Let me tell you about 2 people. We'll call them Mike and Sarah. They both grew up in the same town, went to the same schools, played on the same sports teams as kids, and they both landed decent jobs out of college, making about $55,000 a year. Same starting point, same opportunities, same education, same income down to the dollar. 10 years later, Mike has $120,000 in investments, no debt other than a modest mortgage on a house that's building equity, and he sleeps like a baby every single night. Sarah has $4,000 in a savings account she's terrified to touch, $22,000 in credit card debt spread across 4 different cards, a car payment she can barely make every month, and she lies awake at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling, wondering how she's going to pay for her kids' braces while keeping the lights on. What happened? Did Mike get a massive raise that Sarah didn't? No. Their incomes stayed within $5,000 of each other the entire decade. Did he inherit money from a rich uncle? No. Did he win the lottery or get lucky with some crypto play in 2021? Absolutely not. Mike doesn't even own crypto. The difference between Mike and Sarah comes down to one thing, one habit, one pattern that Sarah repeats every single week, every single month, without even realizing she's doing it, and that Mike decided to break years ago when he was 26 years old and read one paragraph in a book that changed his entire life. That habit is lifestyle matching spending. Now, you probably haven't heard it called that before. That's because most people don't even recognize it as a habit. It's more like breathing. You do it automatically, unconsciously, without a single thought. And it's slowly, quietly, invisibly suffocating your financial future while you smile and tell yourself everything is fine. Here's what lifestyle matching spending looks like in practice. You get a paycheck. Before that money even hits your bank account, your brain has already allocated every single dollar. Rent, car payment, phone bill, insurance, groceries, gas, subscriptions, eating out, that new jacket you saw online, a round of drinks with friends on Saturday. By the time you're done spending, there's nothing left. Maybe $20 or $30 scraped into savings if it's a good month. Most months, it's zero. Then something beautiful happens. You get a raise, a promotion, a better job offer. You're now making 10, 15, maybe 20% more than you were before. This is the moment. This is the fork in the road that determines everything. And what do most people do? They don't save that extra money. They don't invest it. They don't even think about it for more than 5 minutes. They absorb it. Their lifestyle expands to match their new income like a gas filling a bigger container. It happens so naturally, so seamlessly, that they don't even notice it's happening. The raise is $400 a month? Great! Now you've got a nicer car with a bigger payment, a better apartment in a trendier neighborhood. You're ordering takeout 3 times a week instead of once. You upgraded your phone to the latest model. You added 2 new streaming services. You went on a slightly fancier vacation this year. You bought a better brand of everything: clothes, groceries, coffee, shampoo, even the kind of trash bags you use. And now you're back to zero at the end of every month, just like before. Except now you're zero at a higher income level, which actually makes the problem significantly worse because you've built a more expensive life that's harder to scale back from. You've raised your baseline. You've moved the floor up, and you can't easily move it back down because now all of these expenses feel like necessities. They feel like the minimum. They feel like who you are. This is the trap. This is what keeps 90% of people poor for their entire working lives. Not their income, not their education, not the economy, their spending pattern. The automatic, unconscious, culturally reinforced habit of matching every dollar of income with a dollar of spending. Let me show you the math, because once you see the numbers, you cannot argue with this. The math is devastating and it is irrefutable. Let's say you start your career at age 25 making $40,000 a year. Over the next 40 years, through raises, promotions, job changes, and cost of living adjustments, your income gradually climbs. By 35, you're making $55,000. By 45, $75,000. By 55, $90,000. That's a completely normal, unremarkable trajectory for someone with a solid career in almost any field. Over those 40 years, you will earn a total of approximately $2.6 million. That's not a guess. That's not an exaggeration. That's basic arithmetic. Add up every paycheck over 40 years, and the average person with a median income will see well over $2 million pass through their hands in their working lifetime. And the vast majority of them will retire with almost nothing to show for it. Study after study confirms this. The median retirement savings for Americans aged 55 to 64 is somewhere around $120,000. After earning millions of dollars over a 40-year career, they managed to keep roughly 5% of it. 5 cents out of every dollar. The other 95 cents went out the door and never came back. Where did it go? It didn't go to one big mistake. It didn't go to a bad investment or a catastrophic loss. It went to lifestyle matching spending. Thousands and thousands of small, reasonable, perfectly justifiable decisions made over decades. Every raise absorbed into a slightly nicer life. Every bonus spent on something that felt earned and deserved. Every tax refund treated as found money and blown on something fun. Millions of dollars flowing through their hands like water through a sieve, and at the end, they're left holding the sieve, wondering where it all went. Now contrast that with what happens if you break this one habit. If every time you get a raise, instead of upgrading your lifestyle, you invest just half of that raise and live on the other half, the results are absolutely staggering. Your first raise is $3,000 a year. You invest $1,500 of it and enjoy the other $1,500 as a lifestyle improvement. Next raise, same thing. Half goes to investments half goes to living a little better. You're still improving your life. You're still enjoying your money. You're still going on better vacations and eating at nicer restaurants and driving a decent car. But you're also building something, quietly, steadily, relentlessly in the background. At a 7% annual return after inflation, which is a conservative long-term estimate for a diversified portfolio, that simple habit of investing half of every raise produces over $500,000 by retirement. $500,000. Not from some genius investment strategy, not from picking the right stocks or timing the market or buying Bitcoin in 2012. Just from refusing to let your lifestyle swallow every penny of your income growth. That's the entire difference between Mike and Sarah. Mike invests half of every raise. Sarah spends all of it. Same starting income, same city, same career field. Completely different financial destinies. One retires with freedom, the other retires with anxiety. But here's why this habit is so uniquely dangerous compared to other financial mistakes. It doesn't feel like a problem. It doesn't feel like anything at all. That's what makes it absolutely lethal. Nobody walks into a car dealership thinking, I'm about to destroy my financial future. They think, I work hard. I earn this promotion. I deserve a nice car. And they're right. They do work hard. They do deserve nice things. But deserving something and being able to afford it without compromising your future are two completely different conversations, and most people never learn to separate them. Our entire economy, our entire culture is designed to blur that line. Every advertisement you see, every social media post of someone's new purchase, every store display, every financing offer is engineered to make you feel like spending money is the natural, expected reward for earning money. Buy now, pay later. 0% financing for 18 months. Treat yourself. You've earned it. Life is short. YOLO. You only live once, so you might as well live broke, apparently. These aren't just marketing slogans, they're programming. They are systematically training you to believe that the purpose of income is consumption, that money exists to flow through you, not to accumulate, that the proper response to earning more is spending more. And if you buy into that programming, if you let it run your financial life on autopilot, you will be poor forever, regardless of how much money passes through your hands. I've watched people making $200,000 a year living paycheck to paycheck. I've seen families earning well into six figures who can't cover a $1,000 emergency without putting it on a credit card and panicking about how they'll pay it off. High income is not wealth. It has never been wealth. Wealth is what you keep. Wealth is the gap between what you earn and what you spend. And lifestyle matching spending eliminates that gap entirely, at every income level, no matter how much you make. Now, let me show you the 5 specific ways this habit disguises itself in your daily life, because it's sneaky. It doesn't always show up as a flashy sports car or a designer handbag. Sometimes it hides in places you would never, ever think to look. Disguise number 1. Housing creep. You get a raise or a better job, and the first thing you do is decide you need a bigger apartment, a nicer house, a better neighborhood, an extra bedroom you'll use as a home office. Housing is the single largest expense for most people, typically consuming 30 to 40% of their income. And every time you upgrade your housing, you don't just increase your rent or your mortgage payment, you increase your utilities, your property taxes or council tax, your homeowner's insurance, your commute costs, your furniture budget, because the old stuff doesn't look right in the new place. The cost of maintaining a bigger space. A $300 a month increase in rent doesn't actually cost you $300 a month when you account for all the connected expenses. It costs you $450 to $500. Over 10 years, that's $55,000 to $60,000. Invested at a 7% return over that same period, you're looking at over $85,000 in wealth you'll never have. Gone. Because you needed an extra bedroom you use for storage. Disguise number 2. Subscription stacking. No single subscription ever feels expensive. That's the genius of the model and the danger. What's $15 a month for Netflix? What's $11 for Spotify? $40 for the gym you go to maybe twice a month? $10 for that meditation app you used for a week? $15 for cloud storage? $7 for a news site? $13 for a meal planning app? Individually, nothing. Trivial. Not even worth thinking about. But the average person is now carrying 12 to 15 active recurring subscriptions. When you add them all up, it's $150 to $300 a month quietly draining out of your account in small, painless, barely noticeable increments. Over a year, that's $2,000 to $3,600. Over a decade, factoring in what that money could have earned if invested, you're looking at $35,000 to $55,000. Vanished. Into services you use half-heartedly or have forgotten you even pay for. Go check your bank statement right now. I guarantee you'll find at least 2 subscriptions you forgot existed. Disguise number 3. Convenience spending. This is the one that gets almost everybody, and it's the hardest one to see because each individual purchase is so small it feels meaningless. The coffee on the way to work. The lunch you grab because you didn't feel like packing one last night. The Uber instead of public transport because you're running 10 minutes late. The pre-made meal from the supermarket instead of cooking something from the ingredients you already have at home. The Amazon order for something you could have bought cheaper if you'd waited or shopped around. None of these feel like financial decisions. They feel like tiny, insignificant, inconsequential choices that couldn't possibly matter. But they add up to $300, $400, sometimes $500 a month for most working adults. That's a car payment. That's a fully funded Roth IRA. That's the seed money for a brokerage account that could grow into 6 figures. You're not buying coffee. You're selling your financial freedom, one $5 cup at a time, and telling yourself it doesn't count. Disguise number 4. Social matching. Your friends go on a big holiday, so you go on a big holiday. Your colleague pulls up to work in a new car, and suddenly your perfectly functional 3-year-old car feels embarrassing. Your brother renovates his kitchen, and now you can't stop noticing how dated yours looks. Your neighbor puts up a new fence, and you start pricing fences. This is the most psychologically dangerous form of lifestyle matching spending because it's driven entirely by comparison, not by any actual need or desire you had before you saw what someone else did. You weren't unhappy with your kitchen until you saw theirs. You loved your car until you saw his. You're not spending money to improve your life. You're spending money to maintain your social position relative to people around you. And here's the vicious irony that should make you stop and think. That person you're trying to keep up with, they're probably broke too. They're probably doing the exact same thing you're doing, matching their lifestyle to someone else who's also living beyond their means. It's an entire chain of financially struggling people performing wealth they don't actually have. Each one looking at the next and thinking, they must be doing better than me. Disguise number 5, the investment rationalization. This is the cleverest, most sophisticated disguise of all, and it catches even smart, financially aware people. You convince yourself that certain lifestyle spending is actually an investment in your future. A designer suit will help me land bigger clients. A nicer car projects success, and people will take me more seriously. A home office renovation will boost my productivity. This $2,000 course will pay for itself 10 times over. Sometimes, rarely, these arguments are genuinely true. A dentist probably does need a professional-looking office. A realtor probably does benefit from a reliable, presentable car. But 9 times out of 10, these are elaborate rationalizations for spending money you don't need to spend on things that won't generate any measurable return. If a $200 suit from a department store gets you the same job as a $2,000 suit from a luxury brand, the $1,800 difference isn't an investment. It's vanity spending wearing a business casual disguise. Be brutally honest with yourself about which investments are actually investments and which ones are just lifestyle spending with a better excuse attached to them. So, what do you actually do about this? How do you break a habit that's been baked into your brain by decades of cultural conditioning, relentless advertising, and social pressure from everyone around you? Here's a 5-step action plan that you can start executing today. Not next month, not next year, today. Step 1. Calculate your true lifestyle cost. Right now, this week, go through your bank statements and credit card statements for the last 3 months. Every single transaction, every coffee, every subscription, every grocery run, every online order, every bill payment. Add up absolutely everything that isn't savings or investment. That total, divided by 3, is your monthly lifestyle cost. Now divide that number by your monthly take-home pay. If the answer is above 80%, you have a serious problem that needs immediate attention. If it's above 90%, you're on the treadmill running full speed and going nowhere, and you might not even know it. If it's above 95%, you are one unexpected expense away from financial crisis at all times. Step 2. Freeze your lifestyle at its current level. This is the single most powerful financial decision you will ever make in your entire life, and it costs you nothing. Whatever your lifestyle costs right now, that is your lifestyle budget from this day forward, not forever, not for the rest of your life. Just until you've built a meaningful financial cushion and your investments are growing. Every single penny of income growth from this point forward, every raise, every bonus, every side hustle dollar, every tax refund, goes straight to saving and investing. Your lifestyle stays exactly where it is. It doesn't go up, period. This doesn't mean you live in misery. You're not cutting anything you currently enjoy. You're just not adding anything new. You're living exactly the same life you're living today, the same life that was perfectly fine yesterday. If that life was good enough last month, it's good enough next month when you're making more money. You don't need a nicer life. You need a more secure one. Step 3. Automate the gap. Willpower is unreliable. Discipline fades. Motivation comes and goes. So don't rely on any of them. Set up automatic transfers so that money moves from your checking account to your savings and investment accounts before you ever see it, before you ever have the chance to spend it. If your take-home pay is $4,000 and your lifestyle costs $3,400, that $600 difference should leave your account automatically the day after payday and land in an investment account you don't check obsessively. You can't spend what you don't see. You can't be tempted by money that's already gone. Automation removes human weakness from the equation entirely, and that's exactly what you want. Step 4. Create a raise ritual. Every time you receive a raise, a bonus, a cost of living adjustment, or any kind of income increase, Before you do anything else, before you celebrate, before you start thinking about what you could buy, log into your investment account and increase your automatic contribution by at least half of the increase. You got a $200 a month raise? Your automatic investment goes up by $100 immediately, that same day, before the dopamine of having more money kicks in and starts whispering suggestions about new purchases. Make this a non-negotiable personal rule. Treat it like a law of physics in your financial life. Income goes up, investment goes up. No exceptions, no negotiations, no just this once. Step 5. Find your enough number. This is the step that nobody in the personal finance world talks about, and it might be the most important one of all. At what point is your lifestyle good enough? At what income level do you have everything you genuinely need to be comfortable, healthy, and reasonably happy? For most people, that number is dramatically lower than they think. Research from Princeton and other institutions has consistently shown that day-to-day happiness increases with income up to roughly $75,000 to $100,000 a year, depending on where you live and your family size. Beyond that threshold, more spending produces almost no additional happiness. You're just buying more expensive versions of things that don't make your life measurably better. Figure out your enough number. Write it down. Then every penny of income above that line becomes pure investment fuel. That's how you build wealth that actually changes your life. Not by earning more and more and more, by needing less and less of what you earn. Here's what I need you to understand, and I need you to really hear this. I'm not telling you to live like a monk. I'm not telling you to eat rice and beans every night and never go on vacation and wear the same 3 outfits until they fall apart. That's not the point. That kind of extreme frugality isn't sustainable for most people, and it makes life miserable. That's not what this is about. This is about awareness. This is about recognizing that every time your income goes up and your spending automatically goes up by the exact same amount, you are making a choice. You might not feel like you're making a choice. It might feel automatic, natural, inevitable. But it is a choice. And it's a choice to stay exactly where you are financially, forever, no matter how much your income grows. The richest people I've observed over decades of studying wealth are not the highest earners. They're the people with the biggest gap between what they make and what they spend. There are teachers with more net worth than surgeons. There are electricians who retired 10 years earlier than corporate lawyers making 4 times their salary. Income is not destiny. Your spending pattern is your destiny. And the pattern I've been talking about for this entire video, lifestyle matching spending, is the single biggest reason that people who earn perfectly good incomes, people who should be building wealth, who have every opportunity to build wealth, end up with nothing to show for decades of hard work. It's not dramatic enough for a headline. It's not exciting enough for a best-selling book. There's no villain to blame and no conspiracy to uncover. It's just a quiet, invisible, culturally normalized habit that destroys more financial futures than bad investments, stock market crashes, job losses, and medical emergencies combined. Let me leave you with this image. Right now, somewhere in your city, there's a person who makes the same money as you. They live in the same area, they have the same expenses, the same bills, the same cost of living, and they are building wealth steadily and consistently while you are treading water or slowly sinking. The difference between you and that person isn't intelligence, it isn't talent, it isn't luck or connections or family money. It's that they broke this one habit and you haven't. Yet. I said yet because you can break it. Today. Right now. This week. You don't need to read a book. You don't need to take a course. You don't need to make more money or wait for a better time. You need to make one simple, powerful decision. The next time your income goes up, your lifestyle stays exactly where it is. That's it. That's the whole secret. That's what separates the 10% who build lasting wealth from the 90% who work their entire lives and end up wondering where all the money went. Here's your homework. I'm serious about this. Open your bank app right now, today. Look at your last 3 months of transactions. Calculate your monthly lifestyle cost. Write that number down on a piece of paper and stick it on your refrigerator, your bathroom mirror, your computer monitor, somewhere you will see it every single day. Then make a promise to yourself. That number doesn't go up, no matter what. You can rearrange how you spend within that number. You can swap one expense for another. You can prioritize differently, but the total does not increase. Do that for 1 year while investing the difference, and you will be further ahead financially than you have ever been in your entire life. Do it for 5 years, and you won't recognize your bank balance. Do it for 10 years, and you won't recognize your life. Do it for 20 years, and you'll wonder why you ever thought building wealth was complicated. Stop matching your lifestyle to your income. Start building the gap between them. That gap is your freedom. That gap is your retirement. That gap is the difference between lying awake at 2 a.m. in a cold sweat, wondering how you'll pay next month's bills, and sleeping soundly every night, knowing that no matter what happens tomorrow, next month, or next year, you and your family are going to be completely, absolutely fine. The 90% won't do this. They'll watch this video, they'll nod their heads, they'll think, "That's smart, I should do that." And then they'll go right back to absorbing every raise into a slightly more expensive version of the exact same life they've been living. They'll upgrade the car. They'll move to the nicer apartment. They'll add another subscription. And 10 years from now, they'll still be exactly where they are today, except older and more tired and more worried. Don't be the 90%. Save this video. Come back and watch it again in 6 months and see where you are. Subscribe if you want more honest, straight talk about building real wealth with the income you already have. And drop a comment right now telling me the one expense you're going to freeze in your budget starting this week. I read every single one of them, and I want to hold you accountable. The people who win with money aren't the smartest people in the room. They aren't the ones with the biggest paychecks or the best connections. They're the ones who figured out this one thing. Stop letting your lifestyle eat your income. Keep the gap. Invest the gap. Protect the gap. That gap is everything. Be one of those people. Start today. Not tomorrow. Not Monday. Not next month. Today.